How are you doing, friends? Today I have a question. That is the church silent about what's happening here in Kenya, especially when it comes to Gen Z? Now, we have seen a lot of demonstration this week because of a finance bill, but I've not seen even one man of God speaking about what should be done. I've not seen any man of God condemning what is happening. I've not seen one man of God telling the government this is the direction they should take. Now, I have some few things that I've seen from Pastor T and another pastor we call Pastor Robert, and then we have teacher John C.W. So let us start with Pastor T. We see what he posted in his social media, and here is his post, what he posted from in his social media. So let us look and see what he said. This is what he said. On matters church silence, who should speak? So that we say the church has spoken. Type the question. He did not say anything concerning what is happening here in Kenya. He just asked the question. And what interested me is the comments that he got in his social media. So let us see what happened or the comments of the people, because he is not answering anything. He just asking who should speak. So is the church to be have spoken. So let us see what the comments were. Now these are some of the comments. So this is what the first person said in his comment. He said this: we speak small in our small humble way, since the officials kingdom ambassadors dined with the king, lost the divine authority, and therefore can't correct the king or the government even when everything is going south. Sand indeed. Now, can you see from this person commenting in Pastor T post? And the other person is saying the same thing. The same way we are rallied to attend prayers should be the same way we are called to speak on matters mwananchi. Now, you see here, they seem to be offended because the ambassadors or the leaders who we should expect them to speak when things happen like the way they are going, they should speak. But according to these comments, men of God, they have gone to government, they have dined with the king, so they don't want to speak anything against the government because maybe if they speak, there's something that they will lose. This is what they are trying to convey. Let's see from the other person who say this. How would one speak against the hand that feeds them? I agree with the Jackson Oriot. The church lost its voice for a plate of soup and sit at the king's table. Some of us need to return the funds, lands, and big machines we benefited from them to regain our voice. Just my 2 cents. Now you can see they are these are I'm very sure the people who are commented here, they are Christians. So they are being offended by their priests. They are being offended by the leaders that we have in the church umbrella bodies. Now this is telling Pastor T who should speak about the same. Now we have another person here saying the finance bill should pass. We must not reject the finance bill. This debt burden we must shoulder, all of us. Or else our beloved country will be auctioned. This is what this man Emmy Martin is talking about. He's saying that we should pay the tax. We should not let the government to uh, we be auctioned because of not paying things the loan that we have at the moment. So that is those. We have another person, Moses M. Olo. He said that those who speak those who spoke loudly before and after the last election, should we call them by name, sir? Mhm. Let's see from comments in his comments, replies. Let's see what it's people that are saying. Now, this is what the reply is. This is not right before God. If you are a believer, street is not your place. In your hidden chamber, asking God for His will, let God protect the nation from the bloodthirsty demons. God to save our youth. Turn their hearts to Him. Ask God for spiritual insight into the matter. For me, is demonic and is coming from the pit of hell, sponsored by Satan. His teams pray for our leaders to do the will of God, not man. Kneel down and pray. Pray, pray. Tread carefully on matters of God. Now you can see people out there try to do, they are trying to, the others, they are trying to say, yes, we should call them by name. Hapo sasa twende nalo. You can see they are supporting yes to the same billboard. Wilfred Lai was the ring leaders who directed the Kenyans to the current evil. They are now so mere. It means that they are keeping quiet, they are not talking. Actually saa hizi wamenyamaza kama maji ya mtungi. Now you can see the Kenyans, they are very offended. Yes, we call them and put we have so many. Now let's see the for bishop, the bishops who goes to state house to pray but can only read their ideas to media but can't condemn. Now you see people, they are people, they are very offended, they are very offended. So now let's see from Wajia Kuria is saying this. When you look at the kingdom's perspectives, as ecclesia is not structural but individuals. Let's first and foremost do away with titles. What's the mind of Jesus Christ in all this? That's the question. My brother, me and you are capable of speaking in our generation. There is a whole generational shift in Kenya. Don't we have millennial and Gen Z pastors? Pastor T, ongea, you resonate well with youth. That's my opinion. Now you can see they are telling him to speak because he resonates with Gen Z. Then we have Solomon Sila. Let's see what he is saying. Solomon Sila is saying, "Man of God, the truth is the people have seen us call for prayer meetings to pray for different things, solemn assemblies, but when there is a need for the church to speak on the things that affect us as a nation, we end up being silent. The same people that radiate us to prayers should not be silent when the citizens who happen to be the members are crying. It's our responsibility to speak out. They will never forget." Now you can see. Now let's see the other one there. Then we go to the next pastor. We see Pastor Robert Wainaina, what he said. Now this is saying Stephen Caris is saying, wenye walishajibrand as the voice of the church, those that speak on the behalf of the church when there are favors from the government, those that are called in the VIV events to represent us, and we did send them. Let them be seen always if they gonna speak for the church. When things are good, they are over, but when things are messy, they go under. Now you see, even if I read all these comments, you can see the Kenyans, they are offended. Christians, Kenyans, they are offended. So everything here, what is happening is that the clergy is not representing Christians. The clergy is keeping quiet. According to them, the clergy is just benefiting from the government. So you find that they are not talking about what's happening here on Kenya. They are not talking, they are just keeping quiet because maybe there's something that they are getting. Let me read this one, Tyson Honoro, the last one. Then we move to to Pastor Robert. There is a 12 paragraph post that you made here on that 30th July 2022. In one of the paragraphs, you said, let the church arise, we are apostolic, and how to take that stand. I know there are prophetic publications, some of us know that what God has uttered, but since our democracy is still maturing, as Mary kept what she heard about Jesus in her heart, we have heard God, and the matter is in our hearts. Don't. Don't you think this is the time that Kenyans need to hear what God put in your heart? That's the question he is asking. Now, you see, he is challenging Pastor T to give out or to actually to give the nation what God spoke to him, because there's something that he posted about the same about what happening about the Kenya. So Pastor T is one of the Gen Z. I think is there, even if it's not Gen Z, is close to Gen Z. If it's not, now let's see the other pastor who is also close to Gen Z, and if it's Gen Z, maybe I think he normally speak to youth, and we have also teacher John CW. He also does that, but he also speak about when the youth they have problem. So let us see what is Pastor Robert saying. This is what Pastor Robert Wainaina is saying. It's taken a while to say anything about the Gen Z paper and his for a reason. In my carnal self, I honestly want to call this revelation, and I'm sincerely being tempted to find it inspirational. However, something just refuses to sit right with me in my spirit. You see, when you are trained to live and speak from the spirit, even the slightest check down there must get your full attention. You never ignore checks. Now listen. Soon this excitement will be hijacked, and not by politicians, no, by some very dark people and organizations. A very strange agenda just found his way into the soul of the nation if you did it. No. Life is very spiritual, and not everything is logically processable. You will watch this weight change direction and begin drifting towards and against the church. Yes. How and why? Because life is not obvious, and sometimes you can only discern things. Not everything is subject to reasonable knowing. Therefore, the how can we be a bit difficult to explain, but not the why. For any major demonic agenda to be established in a society and generation is of paramount importance to first succeed in challenging the authority of the church. Soon it will no longer be about taxes, and it will leave many, especially the believers, wondering. So it was coming to this. In that heat, heat of much confusion, infighting and blame game, before we even wake up from this silliness, the nation will be where they have always wanted it. Whether you are just watching to see or watching and praying, you can rest assured that you will see this reality. And so we'll be back with part two. So you can see what is responsible say that the things which are happening now, it is not the matter of joke, is spiritual. Is spiritual actually according to him. These things they are not. We should not take them light. There's something behind the things which are happening about the Gen Z. We can see it is a liberation, but it is spiritually. Actually, it will be infringed by the by dark agents. That is what he tried to communicate to people, telling people they shouldn't pray because of these things which might come. Now let's see what people they commented here. on his post. We see what happened. Now, this is what they commented. My exact sentiments, oh my God, a shift happened but in the wrong direction. And yes, spiritual things cannot sometimes be explained but can only be discerned. If you know, you know. There is a check. I saw these two. You can see this is a pastor commending, judge, wake up and pray. Now we have this another person. Oh pastor, oh pastor, is already happening apparently on Wednesday in the Holy Family Basilica Church closed its doors on the protesters, and my daughter and members of our youth group were saying the church has let us down. They were comparing it with the mosque when their doors open and were providing first aid. Now you see what is happening. Now let's see from this other person, Robert Kingman Gidich. Rather than adopt the wait and see approach, why don't we think of Gen Z differently? Why not pray earnestly that the Spirit will raise as a standard against the flood of the enemy in their generation? Why not evangelize to them in word and deed the love of Jesus? Repeat to them that Jesus loves them with actions of mercy and grace. Why not appreciate their uniqueness, their brilliant minds, new way of doing things into the kingdom? I choose to see the positive. Now you see, just the same things, which the same comments, actually they are similar with what people they were commenting in Pastor T. I personally don't know what to say of this. The other part of me feels like joining them, but I feel restrained. I need to pray to understand, for there is an open door somewhere. This has been my sentiment too. I'm also worried the way they're demonstrating for this soon it will be LGBT, something like that. Now you see, uh, whatever that yeah, we are seeing from this pastor and Pastor T, this is a pastor that should speak to the nation. And before we continue, because we have seen what people they are responding to pastors, let us see this clip because the Generation Z is not fearing anything. Actually, I've seen when President Ruto was going to Garissa, the Generation Z was not fearing president. They were almost to attack the convoy. Let's see motorcade what happened in when the President Ruto motorcade was passing. We see how they honestly and they demonstrated it without fearing anything. Actually, they say we reject finance bill. Let's see this clip and hear what they were saying there in that clip.
Reject finance bill! Reject! Reject finance bill! Yes, 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 yes! Hey, 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 hey! Reject finance bill, reject! Reject finance bill, reject! Hey, reject finance bill, reject! Reject, hey! Reject! Reject! Reject, 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 reject! Reject finance bill, 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 reject! Hey! Reject finance bill, reject! Kidogo, 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 kidogo.
Now, you see, they are demonstrating, they are not fearing anything. Meaning that there's something which is happening of which the General Z, because I have checked all the people who have been demonstrating. They are not the people that you can say these people they are being paid to do so. No, these are the people who are educated. We have some with a lot of money. For instance, the comedians, we have seen comedians there. Most of them they are educated. For example, if I can quote MCA Tricky was there. We know now he's doing masters in engineering. Now you see, these are the people who are educated. Many of them they are there educated. They have money, but they can see there's something government is not doing, and they are trying to push to ensure the things that the government try to pass they are not affecting us as a generation Z, because they do say we are the readers of tomorrow. So when we get the things while they are messy, you'll find that the generation Z will have a great problem to repair what has already damaged. So it is a call for everyone. If you are a man of God, if you are standing firm, you should ensure you understand Generation Z. Because actually, yesterday I posted one of the prophecy. Let me just give you a clip here of that prophecy.
Ningetamani kushare na wananchi na viongozi wa nchi, sababu inawahusu. Hivi ndivyo Mungu anavyosema. Kuna wale wanaitwa the electorate, wale ambao wanapiga kura. Kuna kikundi fulani ama jamii fulani. God gave me the picture of a community, jamii fulani. The young people, the 20s and above, they are speaking a language that politicians don't understand. And politicians, they are striving to understand. They are working hard to understand their language, but they don't understand. And still, both groups, the two groups, the older generation and the young generation, they are going to vote because it is their duty to vote. But nobody understands what they want. They will vote anyway. But you know the repercussion of that? Eruption and rebellion. They will vote thinking that you've understood what they want. And you want to do what they want because you've not understood what they want. They will give you their votes. Yes, they will vote for you, thinking that you've understood what they want. And it is true, you've not understood what they want. And once they vote you in, and you don't do what they want, they will come for you. So, whoever is voted into power must realize this. They will vote peacefully. Yes, they will vote peacefully. These people, they will vote peacefully. But after voting, and you don't know what they want, they will come for you, you the leader. It happened in Algeria, Tunisia, Iraq. When people rebel against the government, so anybody who is campaigning, campaign. But remember, problem is coming after election. That is when problems will begin. Now they are looking for the solution. Who? The people. They are telling you something and you don't understand it. So you are selling to them your policies. They are not for your policies. They have a policy. They have what they want. They know. You better go and listen to them. Because if you don't listen to those people, the electorate, those people who are voting for you, they will vote peacefully. I tell you, these people are tired of fighting against each other. They are very tired. They won't fight. Even if you incite them, they won't fight. They have become one community. They are no longer 40-something tribes. They are one tribe called Kenya. Because when the economy is bad, it is bad to all of us. Am I right? When there is no dollar, there is no dollar to every business person. When the county government is dealing ruthlessly with the business community, it is to everybody except somebody. Who? The one in power. So they will vote. I advise you politicians, these people will vote for you. Don't be happy because you've won the election. Problems will begin after election. They will come for you. Whoever will win the election, problems will begin immediately after election. You will find it tough ruling them. I want to give you an example. When you go to Central now, they say they don't understand their president. Am I right? They tell him, no, we don't understand you. If people who come from the region where the president comes from don't understand the sitting president, will they understand you? A people from the region where the president comes from, the sitting president, even if president decides to do something good, whether he gives them title deed, he gives them he give us title deed, but we don't understand you. I ask you, if they vote you in, will they understand you? You give them food, they say we eat, but you must listen to us. What? Then someone comes, whether it is Azimio or Uda, you come, they vote you in. Remember, they are looking for something. They are not looking for someone. And you give them good words and they vote you in. And you don't give them what they want, and what they want you've not understood. They will come for you. So that is about our general election. It will be very peaceful. Very peaceful. But whoever gets the mantle will have problems. Solution? Asifiwe. Si mimi nimepeana ujumbe wangu. Hiyo ndio nilipewa. The rest belongs to them. Now,
Now, in this prophecy, you have seen that Pastor Ezekiel was talking about how the generation Z will come to attack the government if they don't fulfill what they promised during the campaign. And this is what that now we are witnessing. Now we can see the people who they elected the leaders, they are now going to attack the government because the government is not fulfilling the promises that they made for us. So the prophecy is coming to pass. Now we have another pastor that we know very well, is Pastor John C.W. Normally calls himself Teacher John C.W. the Wisdom. Now, in this pastor, he wrote a letter. And that letter, actually, he just read it. I don't know whether you read it, but he presented it in a video. I'm giving this clip right now. So let's first of all listen this clip to hear what he told the president, because I wanted this video to ensure we tackle every part that the church has tried to participate towards the Generation Z. Let's see in this clip what he told the government.
I want to address the president of this nation. Number one, dear president, this is my letter to you. Part of the things that are in this letter is a discussion with a very senior man, my father-in-law. I speak with wisdom, knowing what to say publicly and what not to say. Number one, you are elected by the people of Kenya, specifically with all boldness, the body of Christ. And on that particular time of your election, you are given a burden to carry. And on that burden, you are entrusted a nation. Unlike many other presidents, you carry a very dear place in the representation of the body, because the body came together to put you in power. It means anything you do reflects on the body. No matter how innocent the body is, we become part of the success or the failure. Mr. President, we are happy with the work you are doing. Equally speaking, we stand to correct the errors. The reason is because if you realize anytime you do anything, they paint us the church. Have you ever noticed? When you elect presidents, have you noticed that thing? It means your success is our success. You are carrying a whole church. You have been given the opportunity to represent the church of Jesus Christ. So whatever you do, it paints negative or it paints positive. You really do not have the liberty to do what you want, because the image of the church is at stake, Mr. President. I am not ignorant of the beautiful things that you have done. We see. And we know that it's not easy. It's not within the space of 2 years you can destroy roots that went for decades. We understand. But I beg you by the mercies of God, a man is his man. I speak in parables. A man is his man. A man is his man. The part that I should not say, I am intelligent enough not to, I'll be quiet. But the part I should say is what I'm saying now. You are carrying the image of the church of Jesus. Before I say this, I've taken time to study. Before you sign anything, liars with the body of Christ. I know you are not the president of Christians only. You are equally the president of Muslims. And as a president, the office you are standing, be honest, is for Kenya. So whether you are an atheist, he's your president. Are you aware? Whether you are Muslim, he's your president. Whether you are Christian, he's your president. Whether you are a thief, he's your president. Wherever you are as a citizen of Kenya, locally and abroad, you must submit to this president that Jehovah gave us. But I can tell you there are many that start with Jesus, and along the way, because they are not surrounded by prophets, they might not see. And this is the problem that I have with the ecclesia. We are only relevant during voting. If we can put a man in power, what makes you think we cannot keep a man in power? It's my question I want to ask you. If we can put a man in power, and I, speaking as a man that has traveled vast, I've been to nations where I went to Nigeria the other day, and I heard the rumors of your name, like we would want to do what Kenya did, and I took record to find out, what did Kenya do? Nigeria's church cries, and Nigeria is the best example to tell you majority is not a proof of win. God's will is bigger than majority. I need to explain it. But God's will must work with what? Majority. Majority enough cannot make any man anything. God's will must meet a majority. The Bible says in Psalms 110, I think, on that day, if they are willing, when God finds a willing people, he brings David. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? But equally speaking, like all the records of many people, God brought the first king of Israel, my bad, called Saul. Saul began when? The beginning is never the problem. He brought David. David began when? He brought many rulers and leaders. They all begin when? I beg you, Mr. President. Anything to do with these three things, I'm a little man. But because you know that we played a big part, personally myself, that's why I can address. Be careful when you sign anything to do with agriculture. GMO, specifically GMO. Now, I'm not an ignorant man. I know what I'm saying. Be careful to sign anything to do with religion. And be careful to sign anything to do with the appointments of the people within your team. The church is at stake. They paint the church a bad name when you do anything bad, and they paint the church a good name when you do anything good. Next time, they will not trust that the church can bring out a leader. So this has nothing to do with you. You must serve with the highest form of dignity. And I understand, someone can say, I'm not a president. Fine, the Bible said a man came that the daughter will be healed. He says, I'm a man in authority. I might not be a president, but I'm in authority. In a little way, I'm a man in authority. So I can pick what I'm saying. I'm not speaking ignorantly. It is needful that we understand that just like a pastor can have a scandal and the church being painted the wrong way, so is it that a president can have an issue and the church will end up suffering. What I'm fighting for is 10 years to come, that the integrity of the church, having chosen a leader, will be kept once all of you have left power. That's what you are fighting, the integrity of the church. That people can trust that the church can give a king and the king can do the will of God. That is what I'm not interested, and I'm not a man that looks for relationships. You are my witnesses. If I desired any relationship the minute your government came into power, you would have seen me. But the minute we finished our part, we pulled back. And I think I told you, I pulled back. I didn't want any handout. I didn't want any help. That it will not be said that a man made us rich. In that pulling back, it's not because we don't have issues. It's to secure our message, that we will not be bought. So that the day of evil, we will stand and say it. And the day of help, we will stand and say it. And so I ask you, whatever you do to Kenya, know that unlike every other president, have you seen there? Please, you are watching, put the scripture that Caleb, that's why I said this was the it. You have been given an opportunity to watch over the souls. Remember, you will give an account. If there is a rogue person around you, do not keep a friend to destroy a people. It is evident that there are rogue people around you. You might not know, but we see from afar. And I'm a prophet of... And so I ask you, watch around for those around you that demonize your agenda. You are carrying the church. You are carrying a heavy burden. Do not bring shame on the ecclesia. So that next year, 5 years to come, they will still hear us when we say, this is the person. But they will not look at us as failures. I beg you by the mercies of God. We might not reach you for now. It's fine. But I ask you, please, rule with the highest form of integrity, so that the shame of the church will not be mature in your days. Second thing I want to say, I know that Mount Kenya, many of you don't know, but our church, I think, is where it begins. So God brought us to this mountain. I know the prophetic message. It means we are watchers. And there is no politician that can do anything save God has accepted it. And I want to remind you, political people, don't be drunk with power. Remember, Jehovah will have his day. Do not, I've not even taken time with the person, it doesn't matter, but do not degrade the office of the deputy president. Whether you have your political problems, politicize them outside the office. This is not a time for politics. This is a time to work for Kenya and Kenyans. When you want to do your political things, do them with your children in your houses. Do not play with Kenyans. All those of you leaders of the mountain, we are merely on the second year. Is it the second year or third? Has the third year entered? Huh? The second year, right? We are merely on the second year, and you're already politicizing who is the kingpin. Who told you you'll be alive tomorrow? Shame on you. You talk as one without understanding. Who told you you'll be alive in the next election? Who are you? Oh, member of parliament, oh, governor, who are you? Humility is a virtue, and it should be applied heavily by every leader. When you speak, don't speak as if you own tomorrow. Speak by grace, by the grace of God. If God allows, I will rule tomorrow.
Now, you see, from this clip, is that the John C. tried to talk to government. Actually, he was addressing president. He was telling president that he should not sign anything that will be brought to him. Actually, this is after president coming from US. So when he came, he told the president that you should not sign anything that will be brought to you. And I think one of the things that will be brought to him to sign, it is this finance bill. Now, if he signs this finance bill, actually it will bring a lot of chaos, because most of the people they are rejecting. Actually, they are not saying to amend; they are saying to reject. They want to reject the whole of it, not to amend. Now, you see this. If they reject, then it means there's something that will happen that maybe might affect the nation. So, are we as Christians, are we not understanding, or as the leaders, are we not understanding the general Z? Or is there somewhere as the leaders they have not done well? Are they going contrary to what they promised? Yes, they are going, because they promised honey, but whatever that we are getting is something different. Actually, it's something different. And that's why you can see Generation Z is trying to demonstrate, so as to show that whatever you are doing as a leaders is different what you promised us. They are trying very much to communicate through demonstration, because actually to reach president, to reach these leaders, you reach them, but they will not get whatever that you are speaking out without demonstration. They understand demonstration very well, and we have seen this one through Laila. Now, you see, so as a church, we should start and speak. Let the clergy speak about this matter, and if the clergy speak about this matter, I think people, they will start thinking otherwise, and they will take charge in a good way. According to John C, you say that if the president does something wrong, actually it's the church, because according to what they said, that this president is being supported, or it was much supported by the Christians. So the charge will be taken wrong if he signs something wrong, or if he does something wrong. So as a church, we should stand and speak out. If it's prayers, we call for prayers. If it's anything else, we do. This is Stephen, GC News. Get informed. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe it, because more is coming. God bless you.
Reject finance bill, reject! Reject finance bill, reject! Hey, reject finance bill, reject! Reject, hey! Reject! Reject! Reject finance bill, 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 reject! Hey! Reject finance bill, reject! Kidogo.